Brubaker, and thank you for joining me on this week's edition of Talking It Out with Groff Funeral Homes and Crematory. Today I'd like to spend a couple minutes talking to you about making sure your final wishes are carried out at the time of your passing. We hear a lot of our families tell us that, well, I have a will, so that's all taken care of. Having a will is a great thing to do, but unless it explicitly states your funeral wishes and who is in charge of those wishes, that's not going to be helpful as far as coming to the funeral home and planning your funeral home. And from our experience, over 90% of the wills we see do not say anything about funeral wishes. We also have families tell us, well, I have a power of attorney who's going to handle everything. A power of attorney is another good thing, but power of attorney ceases at death. So after someone passes away, that's also not helpful as far as planning the funeral when you come to the funeral home. The funeral home is bound to deal with the next of kin when someone passes and decisions need to be made. So the funeral home is going to go directly to the next of kin as the decision maker. Now, through advanced funeral planning, we get to know some of our families, and some people express concerns with having the next of kin as the decision maker. Maybe it's a strained relationship or other factors, but it's just not a situation that they're comfortable with. While you're alive, you have the ability and you have the right to name someone as authorized agent of disposition. Now, what that is, that's a free form you can fill out at the funeral home with the help of a licensed funeral director, and you can name one person solely responsible to carry out your final wishes. And as far as the funeral home is concerned and planning your funeral, that is the only thing that will trump next of kin. So that can be a very powerful tool in making sure your final wishes are carried out, and maybe we can avoid some unnecessary arguments from the family at the time. If you're interested in that, feel free to give us a call. We'd be more than happy to help you with that or any other questions that you have. The number is 419-626-3632. Thank you for joining me on this week's edition of Talking It Out with Groff Funeral Homes and Crematory. And as always, I'll see you next week.